I'm going to put a picture on the screen and ask you to stare at it for 20 seconds. Keep your eyes fixed on the cross in the middle and try to keep them still. Now, while you're looking at this picture, your eyes are sending messages to your brain. Those messages are travelling down neurons or nerve cells from your brain to your eyes. And because your eyes are still, the same messages are being sent down the same neurons over and over again. Okay, I'm going to count you down. Keep staring at the cross. When I finish the countdown, I'll change the picture on the screen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep looking at the cross. Now move your eyes. Hopefully, when I first flicked onto this second image, you saw it in colour. But as soon as you moved your eyes, the colour vanished. Well, that colour never existed. It was entirely created by your brain. This is a process called adaptation, and it happens because, as I mentioned, the same neurons are sending their messages over and over again. And just like if I asked you to do lots of push-ups, your arms would get tired, your neurons get tired when they're repeatedly activated. Neurons also use chemicals to communicate, and in some cases they can even run out of these chemicals. Both of these processes mean that the signal can no longer be sent. So why does tiring out a neuron mean you end up seeing colours that aren't there? Well, this is down to the way the eye detects colour. We have 3 types of cone cell in our eyes, which detect different wavelengths of light. The wavelengths they detect overlap, but roughly correspond to red, green and blue light. But the signals from these cells go through another layer of processing before they get sent to the brain. Neurons group colours into pairs, or opponents, which is why it's called opponency, and tell the brain about the difference between the two. One type of cell tells the brain about the difference between red and green, firing more for red and less for green. Another for blue versus yellow. Top marks if you notice that there's not actually a cone measuring yellow. The clever little cells work this out by adding together the activity of the red and green cones and comparing it to blue, which, unlike your paint palette, does actually make yellow. And that brings us back to the illusion. While you were staring at the greenish flower in the middle, your green cones were very active, and they began to tire and run out of the chemical they used to communicate. When you went back to neutral, your red cones were sending more signals in comparison to the tired green ones. So when your processing neurons compared the levels of the two, it came to the conclusion you must be seeing red. So that's what you saw. Because of this opponency process, you will always see the opposite colour to whatever you've been staring at.